Howdy doody everybody, I hope you're doing well. In today's video, we're talking about Dragon Ball The Breakers. That always confuses me. A brand new Dragon Ball game from Bandai Namco, which is kind of like a spin on the isometric multiplayer genre where it's like one person's playing as a villain and they're basically trying to chase down people, and the other people are trying to get out of that area. And it's kind of like a scary game of like chase or tag or whatever. But I'm here with Paradise to talk about this game. We played it quite a bit on the weekend. What did you think of it?
So, this is actually one of my first times playing one of these like 1-on-7 asymmetric, like, you know, those kind of games. I'm not really massively familiar with the genre, so it was a very new experience for me. I will say I quite like Dragon Ball. I quite like the aesthetic of the game. I don't know if you have played the Dragon Ball games a lot. There's so many Dragon Ball games, but I went in like very excited actually to try something new, Dragon Ball theme, really fun. I will say, disclaimer, I ultimately think the genre might not be one of my all-time favorites, but I think there is fun to be had, and I specifically think people that like this genre of game might really like this. Like I'll be so interested to see just how the player base will react when this game comes out, because the formula is the same as a lot of the other like successful games of this genre, right? And it has some interesting spins in there as well. So to give a brief, shall I give a brief overview of like what each side wants to do?
Yeah, give a brief overview, because obviously you play as Cell on the Raider side, right? And then you play as one of the survivors, which is basically your traditional Dragon Ball character. But if you can go more into detail about like what their objectives are and everything, that would be great.
So you got 7 survivors, which are meant to be like just regular humans in the Dragon Ball universe. And what they need to do is basically go through different areas of the map. There's 6 areas, and each area has items that you can pick up, weapons, other items that give you like a dragon charge, which lets you transform, which I'll talk about in a minute. But there's also keys that you then need to find and then activate in each area, which lets you power up the I think it's called the startup machine for the super time machine or something like that.
Yeah, the super time dimensional machine. It had a very long name. A load of the stuff is orientated about this kind of like rift and all of the like villains coming through from this rift and kind of destroy people basically. So you're trying to mend the rift. Exactly. A load of stuff is around time and dimensions and stuff. So yeah,
it's like a little pocket dimension where this battle's happening, and by collecting the keys and charging up this machine, you're fixing it and restoring time, and then you're all saved. The problem is the Raider can not only just completely destroy entire areas of the map, which if you didn't get the key in time, then you have no chance of getting the key, and if you did get the key in time, then it's locked in and you're all good for that area. But also the Raider is incredibly, overwhelmingly powerful and can evolve in different stages. So if you think about Dragon Ball and you think of the villains that have multiple like evolutions and power levels, that's the kind of thing that you're going to see. So obviously it starts off with Cell. I think there's going to be Frieza in the future as well, probably more on top of that. But essentially the Raider as Cell starts off as like a little bug that goes around and just gradually builds up his evolution bar. He scuttles around, yeah. And there are NPCs in like different caves and rooms that you can rescue as survivors to get Dragon Charge, or that you can absorb as the Raider to get more evolution. And as you evolve up to Perfect Cell, you get more like devastating powers. But the overall idea is that the Raider can literally just like almost instantly defeat you as if you're a survivor. Like you have very little chance unless you built that Dragon Gauge, the Dragon Charge, which lets you transform into like the heroes of Dragon Ball, like Goku and Vegeta and so on. But even then, you're significantly weaker than the Raider. So unless like all 7 of you team up at the same time and do a coordinated attack, you're basically still just going to get instantly destroyed by the Raider. But yeah, the basic idea: get all the keys, build up the charge, and then escape. But the Raider can destroy the machine, in which case you need to use the escape machine, which is like a little flying hovercraft, which someone can manually... they can manually control them and fly away, and they can choose to pick up the other survivors or not, which is quite an interesting thing. But the Raider can destroy that very quickly as well. So the whole game is like this big game of hide and seek, and I'll be honest, like if the raider finds you, you're pretty much screwed. Yeah. You do have a few escape mechanics, like a smoke bomb, a grapple hook, a pod that lets you like fast travel to another part of the map and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is definitely like Dead by Daylight in a Dragon Ball Z format. I will say, if I'm being absolutely honest about this one, that, like Paradise said, this is not the genre for me. I've never been interested in like Dead by Daylight or what was the Friday the 13th or any of these like kind of games where it's 1 versus 7 or whatever. So I didn't necessarily enjoy my time, but I can see where people would enjoy their time if they definitely like this. I have a friend called Freya. This is all she plays, so I know that she's going to really enjoy this. And I think it's one of those ones of, if I was interested enough to kind of pick it up and play as it having that switch and that kind of twist as a Dragon Ball aesthetic, I know that people that are into the genre will try it out and have fun. And there is certain times when it, even for me, someone that doesn't like it, there was fun trying to outsmart the raider basically by hiding behind rocks, and it was kind of intense and trying to get the time machine out. But ultimately, it's not something that like floats my boat essentially. So yeah, I can see people liking it, but it definitely wasn't for me. So if you're new to this genre and it wasn't appealing to you, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. But if you are into this type of genre and you like Dead by Daylight and you like all these other games, give it a go, because this might be a new avenue for you, because those other games are kind of ye oldie now. So this might be the new one that all the kids are jumping onto and having a bunch of fun with.
I think there's a couple things to say about the game as well. One, I think it has a great amount of replayability if you like these type of games. Like, it's always a new set of players, so it's like League of Legends. It's the same thing, but different people, so it's totally different each time. But also, I think there is actually probably, I don't want to get caught out for this later on, but I think there is a decent skill cap in this game, because there's quite a lot to it. There's a lot of different avenues to win and lose. There's the Dragon Charge, which has these gauges. There's the Dragon Balls that you can collect, which we didn't talk about, which lets you basically get a wish that makes you give everyone Dragon Gauge, or give yourself like the ultimate level 4 Dragon Gauge that you can only get with the wish, which lets you become supposedly as powerful as the Raider for a short period of time, or near enough as powerful. But it's very hard to get all the Dragon Balls and do the wish. So I think that there is like a chase for learning it, getting really good at being a survivor as well as being the Raider. But it just requires you to have that interest and invest that time into it, which for me, I'm always looking, well, is it worth my time to like get better at this game, and does it make the experience better? And I think that is there in the game, you know? Yeah,
definitely. And I feel like when you're like getting through the levels of like leveling up your particular character as well during the like using the Dragon Gauge, there is a kind of sense of like gratification when you do actually finally pop it and you can like fly away. Like I changed into, there was one time when the Raider was on me, like about to just hit me with the Omega Clombi like beam, and I just like turned into Piccolo, flew away, fought him for a little bit and got out there. So I did outplay them, because they are like basically some god tier like character that is super OP, but that is where I can see where the fun is. And I've seen a bit of like these other games where the monster is kind of like chasing them, and the outplays are definitely there, as they are with these other games as well. But that was like a quick rundown of Dragon Ball Breakers. I don't really have much more to say because it was a beta, so we only got to play on like one or two of the maps. Actually, you know, one thing I would like to point out about the game that's ultimately like really cool: when the Raider blows up an area, you are quaking in your boots, because it's like some big red beam comes down from the sky, and the area starts like lighting up red, which is pretty cool as well. Is there anything that you particularly liked about it?
I liked playing the Raider. Yeah. I just felt all
it was
powerful.
just OP.
Yeah. So I quite enjoyed being the Raider, but you can't always be the Raider, you know? You gotta be the survivor sometimes.
What did you dislike about the game?
I would say my main dislike, and I think this is an issue with the genre, not the game itself, is I don't like spending 5 or 10 minutes running around doing objectives and then just instantly getting killed. and then game over, you know, if you don't get revived, which I was finding that not a lot of people were reviving unless I was specifically getting you to revive me. So I don't like when I don't like when I get caught by the raider, you know. It sounds dumb, but it's just a little bit like killjoy when you spend 10 minutes getting keys only to then be out of place for a moment and get beamed and insta-killed, you know.
Yeah. This is definitely one of those games, and like my worst point for the game is that you definitely needed like a coordinated team to play it with. So it's definitely not one of those games that you're going to go in and play by yourself and feel like you're doing the most, unless you're a god tier player and you sweat it out.
Unless you're the raider.
Unless you're the raider, obviously. So it definitely requires a team, but I also feel like that's the strength of the game as well. So it is what it is. It would be nice to see how this game comes along. I know a load of people, as I said, would enjoy it, but for me, it's not for me. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that is the end of the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. You can let me know if you want to see more of Dragon Ball games in the future on the channel. Obviously, maybe not this one because I didn't enjoy it as much, but yeah, definitely more Dragon Ball on the channel in the future as well. Paradise, got any videos going out?
I have several ideas that I don't want to give away yet, but
Cool.
I was thinking maybe I'll upload some of the Raider gameplay because I do think that was pretty fun.
Nice. So Paradise has got some Raider gameplay. You can go over there and check that out. Anyway, guys, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget you can subscribe so you don't miss another video.